Count it down with your hands.
What up? Good morning, people.
This is the Vaugiotto broadcast show.
Timpin Salone. You heard it here first, folks. Live and direct at an undisclosed location. Maybe near you. To my right, we have my main man, Drubisky. Damn, bro. Yo, when I tell you I have a headache, I'm actually dead serious. All right, just count it down again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's cool. Like, it is what it is.
So, say, hypothetically, you were to be in a relationship. Would you prefer that person that you want to be in a relationship to be a male or a female? Would you want that person that you want to be in a relationship?
Well,
would you prefer them to be a male or a female?
My preference, I would prefer to be a female.
Bro,
Okay. What about you?
Bro, chill out, bro. Female, come on.
Female? Okay. So this
Bro,
female,
don't even do that, bro.
when it
Don't
comes to
even-
this
All
female,
right.
when it comes to this female, now when it comes to this female, do you have a preference when it comes to skin color?
No,
No,
definitely
I'm
not.
not a child, bro. Like, women are women. Like,
Mhm.
bro, I think as you get older, you kind of get out of that habit of like trying to have expectations for women. I think that once you get older, you kind of like realize that there's so many different like if you want to use like art, there's so many different pieces of art. You can't just look at like I only mess with Picasso, bro, because then you gonna like mess out on the other new artists, bro. Everybody in different like flavors. You feel
I
me?
got you.
So
Yeah, it's just wrong going in with tunnel vision. Say, oh, I can only date or be around with this type of color, this type of person, because you could be missing out on the one person who you're really meant to be with. So it's just really bad to just have a preference and just avoid everybody else and just disassociate with them. So I feel like it's just wrong to have a preference.
At this very undisclosed location, we have a very special guest today. You may know him. He's been in the Vine world, the social media realm, making a big impact. Let me introduce you to Metro.
Yeah, what's up? You good? You good with it? Alright, cool. Alright, yeah. Right with it.
Yeah, what's good?
I love you too. What's going on? How you doing, bro?
What's good?
What's up? How we good? We good?
Yeah.
Man.
It's a neighborhood where people.
I feel welcome. I love it. How y'all doing?
Sitting down.
Let me see. Let's see.
12 came.
Who?
When 12 came, had to shut the school down.
What?
They broke the glass and all that.
Oh, alright.
For y'all that don't know, by the
That's
way,
talkable. That's talkable.
may I just say that, for the record, these two did go to high school together.
Yeah, he's
Just in case y'all didn't know.
He is in
Pause.
this video. He's the one that was by the side and he was just down with it and he did the last move.
Well, that's why your shoe game weak.
Go ahead, follow your boy. Shit. Yeah. What is you got to plug, man? I pointed at you. You got to plug yourself now. Just here.
This is about you, bro. We doing you. This is your interview.
Nah, it's too late. I gave it. But
Now today, we have another very special guest. An award-winning spoken word poet. Goes by many names. Casso the artist. Slammy Sosa.
AKA,
Eastside Chef.
AKA,
Chef Too Much. But we know him as Siobhan. Let me get a one little introduction.
What up? Cross?
Yo. Good?
Thank the Lord, fellas. How y'all doing?
Pretty
Doing
good.
good?
Well, talk about your kind of creative process of what kind of goes into making a poem or writing a poem.
Okay. It usually starts not at the beginning of it,
Okay.
but with a bar or a line or any one thing I just really want to say.
Okay.
I'll just be like on a train or just walking maybe to and from a class or just on my own in thought, and an idea or a concept will come to me or something like, oh, this would be tough, or I really want to say this, or maybe I'll have a conversation and it'll be something I really want to elaborate on that I don't feel like we as a society talk about enough.
Okay.
So I'll write it down, and then later when I got free time, I'll sit down and I'll try to build around it.
Okay.
And sometimes the beginning line might actually start the piece, sometimes it comes towards the end, sometimes the beginning, like, you'll never really know until it's done. I try to let those things like work themselves out.
Even though you're an award-winning poet, do you ever still get nervous on stage?
On stage, no. I get nervous when I'm being introduced.
Okay.
I get nervous when I'm being introduced because I feel like that is the one. That's like the last one because it's like I have to live up to everything you saying right now, and I don't know any of the people out here. I don't know how I'm going to be received. It usually goes well, thank God, and but on stage, while I'm not nervous, is I don't feel like I have time to be.
Okay.
It's like, okay, I'm fully aware that I could be nervous right now, but I could also just like talk my shit and hope this actually goes well. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got 3 minutes, so I got to start talking right now.
Yeah.
So, with that said,
3 hours later.
with that said, would you let a girl who has OnlyFans date you?
Negative.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't
Clippers.
gonna do that.
Would it?
Clippers. Nah, let me take that back. Well,
What if it was a girl of your dreams? What if she came up to you and she said, "You know what? I want to date you." And the thing is, you knew about it. This was your chance. You know, you've always wanted to go on a date with her, right? And you know what kind of person she is. The only thing is, she has an OnlyFans. That's the only thing. How would you feel about that?
It depends on the type of content. You know, as you said, it's a platform where people post content. It depends on the type of content that she's posting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If she's posting the typical content, you know, might be a little clip, man. You know what I mean? And again, that ain't a shot against nobody, but it's just me. You know, that's not. A lot of times now, as I'm getting older, I'm thinking about just the representation of my significant other has on a daughter. You know what I mean? And so I kind of want my significant other to lead by example, you know, for my future kids one day. So might be a little clip on that front. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
Drew, how do you feel about that?
Definitely clip for me, man.
Yeah.
I feel like if in a relationship you want, I guess for me personally, I want someone that's like chill, that doesn't have to like, I guess, do stuff like that in a way. So I would kind of be like, be turned off to like stuff like that. And also like what Q was saying, like it depends like what type of content it is. Like if it's the regular, like what people are going to OnlyFans for, then that's enough. That's
what people go to OnlyFans for, Drew?
Yeah, Drew.
They're trying to see some. They're trying to see some stuff. They're trying to get a membership or something, man. They're trying to pay for some very exclusive content. But yeah. That's enough for me.
Are you a paid member, bro?
Definitely not.
Yeah,
Never use the platform.
Bro. Let me see your bank statements, bro. Let me see your bank statements, bro. Hey.
But speaking of social distancing, so I guess if you think about relationships and like how they're initially started, I mean, any relationship at all, whether it's a friendship or an intimate relationship, it usually starts when you're in a social gathering. So the fact that we can't really do social gatherings, that kind of changes the dynamic of relationships and how they start. I mean, you have the relationships that you already started prior to quarantine, and the new ones that you start post quarantine is going to be a little different because you're always going to have that fear in the back of your head, like you don't want to get too close, just because you don't know. It's really a kind of like life or death, really, if you think about it. So it kind of changes the dynamic of flirting. So like if you see so let's say, for example, Drew goes to the mall, right? The mall finally opens up. Drew goes to the mall and he sees a cute girl and he wants to walk up to her and just start talking to her. He's gonna have to be at least 6 feet away. So that's gonna be a loud conversation, right? Everybody's gonna hear you spitting your game. They're gonna see you doing your thing, but then like you won't be able to like swap phones. You're gonna be hesitant and be like, "Yo, let me get your number," or stuff like that. Like it kind of changes the dynamic of how you initially start a relationship. So how do you guys see a way around that, if there is one?
For now, I think when you're talking to a shorty, you need her phone number and her medical records. Off books, first thing you need. You feel me? But now, I mean, I think it definitely changed the game as far as just how you finna mac or how you finna, lay your rap down.
We have a special guest today, but I'll hand it over to Drew. I'll let him introduce him. Take it over.
This is a long time friend, known him since like 4th grade, around 10 years. Since like 10 years old, but a real guy, day one. That's my bro Jacob right here, so he can introduce himself.
How y'all doing, people? Y'all doing good? Y'all doing good? Yeah, I thought so.
Let me ask you a question. How did you find out about Timpin Salone?
I like Drew, my boy Drew, my best friend, my homie, my brother. He I think he like posted like a link to a video, and I was like, yo, what the fuck this nigga doing? Clicked on that bitch, and I'm like, watching. I'm like, oh, this what he doing in college? This shit hard. Oh, that's cool as fuck. And I watched like pretty much the whole thing. I was like, damn, this is actually like really entertaining. Y'all funny as hell. Y'all cool. And I texted him. I was like, yo, I watched the video. That shit's clean as hell. He was like, word, thank you, bro. I was like, man, keep doing what you're doing. This shit's hard.
Appreciate it, of course. Appreciate it. Yeah, yes, sir. Get that green can out of here. Pour it in a glass. Pour it in a glass.
Follow me by my green can, man. No. Cold like a Sprite soda.
I'm gonna keep saying this, bro, but the Grammys ain't never got it right. You know what I mean? I don't think Snoop got a Grammy. It's a lot of people that signify culture and everything that's relevant with culture, they don't got a Grammy. And to me, I think that if you put out art for the hopes of getting a Grammy, bro, you're going to be waiting for years for that. I mean, even in recognition, you know what I mean? I think that a lot of people only want to do something just because of recognition. You know what I mean? You really got to love what you do regardless if anybody recognizes it or not. Like even this show right here. You know, we kind of got, you know, a little bit of following situation, but even if nobody tapped into what we was doing, it was just us three on the camera every day, I still love what we're doing. I still be putting 110% of what we're trying to do.
We also have another very special guest with us today. Disclaimer, of course, you know, we're all in completely different locations, whether we're 20 feet apart or, you know, 200 miles away, whatever. The point is we're not in the same room, okay? So 3 undisclosed locations. Nowhere near y'all either, so y'all are safe. So I'm going to hand it over to Drew and let him introduce our guest.
Yeah, so we got a very special guest today. This will be the first family member of the Timpin Salone family to get around the episode. So this is my sister, Veronica.
Hi, everybody.
Woo!
Everybody, the funniest story of me or that you know about me.
I guess this is from what I remember. This was when you had to do that ice bath one time.
Oh man.
One time, I don't know if like you were hurting or something, but like our dad was like, you know what you should do, Drew, an ice bath. So we went to the store, got everything that we needed, obviously just ice, put the cold water in there, had Drew go in the ice bath. Tell me why this man shed real tears.
It was one of the bath waters all the way on cold, and he poured like 3 or 4 buckets of ice. That was so cold.
I felt so bad. I just remember taking a peek into like the bathroom and I just saw the tears, but I just had to go in my room and just laugh about it. I felt bad, but it was funny.
And this is back in the track days. Our coach, he had us doing some like things that are like that no human can ever do. I could barely move after his practice.
Well, look, one thing is for sure, those tears were probably warmer than the water. for sure. I'm telling you, he probably cried on purpose. He wanted to warm up. He's like, you know what? Let me make these tears real quick.
That was so painful.
That was for like the ALS bucket challenge, or that was just something random?
No, I was just to recover from the track practice. Because you know how like athletes do like the ice baths and stuff like that?
Yeah.
No, I feel that.
Yeah, but I do have to say though, even though I cried and I was only in there for 5 minutes, it did help. My legs felt pretty light after that, so.
I cannot.
Yeah. We got a very special guest with us today. Uncle Boogie. Uncle Boogie's podcast. Say what's up.
I'll actually play with God. Uncle Buggy is
Now let me ask you something. So TikTok has been a big app, been blown up for specifically during the virus, and a lot of people at home, they're doing the videos, trying to get some clout off of that. And with this latest music video, WAP, there comes a dance that a lot of people have been doing on TikTok. So
They got a dance for WAP?
they got a dance for WAP.
That's your favorite dance right there, bro.
Big, man. It's
know what?
You can see it everywhere.
Shut the beef up, L. Shut the beef up.
Hey, show them the dance, Jabisky. Go ahead, show them the dance, bro.
Throw my hands up.
Okay, so the dance has been a little risque, if you want to put it that way. It has some movements, some dance moves in there that not everybody is very
Now you're
fond of.
shaking the tail feather.
Yeah, something like that for sure. And I guess it kind of brought up the conversation of like parents keeping a closer eye on what their kids are posting on TikTok and whatever. And so with that being said, if your daughter, I mean, it's going to be a little hard because you haven't seen the dance, but if your daughter, you could use your imagination. If your daughter posted a video like that where the dance is a little risque, how would you feel about that?
Get in the belt. You know what I'm saying? Get in the belt. Off the rent. Like, what you doing? Like, come on, get it together. You know what I'm saying? But it goes back to my conversation before of, everybody got their own thing. You know what I'm saying? If you care that much into something, then just make it your business to figure out how you want to maneuver around that. You know what I'm saying? With my kid, me personally, I'm gonna whip my kid beat. You know what I'm saying? Again, they beat with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But some parents might feel like, I don't know, or maybe they not paying attention to what their kid doing. You don't want your kid doing something, pay attention, make sure they do.
We have a very special guest with us today. Now, I will hand it over to Drew so he could give a proper introduction. Drew, take it over.
So this is a good friend of mine. She's a young entrepreneur. She started and she's the founder of her own company, Meal Tricks. This is my friend Kayla.
Hi, everyone.
Could y'all go without eating meat? Pause.
I know for me, though. That would be pretty hard to pause again.
Meat there's always something cooking, like every other day, meat related. So I don't know if I could go without it, to be honest. That'd be hard for me.
No, it's definitely hard. I commend those that do it. I personally do want to become vegan. I think around the time I have children, just because of all of the health stuff with that. But at the same time, like I said, it's more about moderation. Like, what are you eating it and how is it being prepared? Like, meat doesn't have to be the bad guy. What more so should be the bad guy is the companies that raise the meat in horrible conditions and don't do their best to ensure that what you're consuming is better for you, I think those are really the real culprits, not necessarily the thing itself. It's who's behind this thing.
So I'm going to toss it to Q. Law Carter real quick so he can give a proper introduction to our guest.
So today we got an international player in the building. You feel me? If you ever lived in the Queens area, you definitely know this man. You feel me? He's a friend, good dude. So I'm going to introduce everybody to Mr. Daniel Hayes. Say what up to the people, bro.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Yeah, I live in. So I'm just wondering, so do you think that the people are going to be able to get a good understanding of how big of an action, how impactful it is to vote this November? Because I still feel like there are some people that don't really grasp it, because voting is really big, especially now, more than ever.
Yeah. Again, another beautiful question, but I think that a lot of people do grasp it. I like to counter that because, again, never before, with everyone being home, normally people are so busy in their everyday lives. They've never been forced to stop and face the issues that are going on. And it's impossible to look at what's going on right now and ignore that. It's impossible. And because of that, even though people aren't digesting as much news as they're, because of how much could be lost in translation, they're still seeing the real life applications of that stuff. They're still seeing what's happening in the streets. They're still experiencing the effects of the pandemic and the effects of unemployment, and seeing what that does, and seeing, oh, well, this is what education now looks like. So they're forced to see it. And you can't ignore the things that you're seeing. And I think, yes, there is a breakdown in the way people absorb information from the news, but having that real life experience with the things that are being spoken about on TV, on your phone, on your laptop, on the internet, like being able to see that, that leaves more lasting an impact than what you read or what you see, because you're definitely like not able to fully experience something or understand something until you go through it, and until you can see how it's actually being lived out in front of you. I think people are going to go out and vote and are going to make the right choices. I think America is ready for it. And now more than ever, this generation, our generation, we're gonna be the ones that implement the change. And like we've been hearing every older generation say it to the next generation, but I do genuinely believe that our generation is going to do what it's supposed to do, and that's influence change and bridge the gap between living how we should live today and how we're accustomed to living in the past.